So today I would like to point out that if you're wanting to know, yes, there is another decoration, and this decoration, if you're wondering, what does this new decoration do? For those of you who have been min-maxing, which most people do, if you go into your decorations, you'll now notice that you can get an additional 10% of parking spot bonus with the bunny lamp. So if you unlock it, you can then apply it. And of course, the age-old problem is, how do I get it to fit? I've got 180. How do I get it to go somewhere where it will work? And this is the age-old problem. I don't have enough room. What do I do? I cannot get it to fit here. I can't get it to fit here. And I can't go here or here or here or here or here. And so on and so forth, right? It's an age-old problem. It's always been known to a lot of people that, well, coincidentally, you got new items, so convincingly you've got to find a way to make it work. So, what I would recommend you do to make this extra little slot work for you instead of against you, you have to kind of notice where we have small items and large items, right? So you go into your decorations tab and you'll go into decoration. And like in the case of the panda, what I'm going to do is I'm going to move the panda, maybe the pond first, I guess, but I could probably move the pond and the panda. So like here we only get 4%, right? So we'll just go ahead and cancel that out. And in favor of, a measly 4%, right, we can go over in here and we can go grab that little extra 6% we wouldn't have otherwise. So we'll go ahead and pick this up and, running the logic of what we already got going, throw that in there. And now what will happen as a result is now you'll have 180% for parking coins. And if you're wondering, okay, but now hold on, I want to make sure I get that extra added little 4% bonus off of my pandas and my 2% additional venture. Okay. You go back to the problem of, okay, so we don't have enough space for that, right? So we can't really get away with putting them over here. We can't put them down here. So you kind of have to pick and choose in a way where you want this to land, because you're not going to have a lot of room to do it in, right? Because you can see here in the small columns, you can kind of get away with it, but when you get into the smaller bracket columns, it's just not as easy, right? So one of the things that we can explore here is if we go into here and we go into the decoration tab. That's why I said I was going to have to probably do a lot of tweaking to make this work, because what'll have to happen is I'll have to cancel this out, reuse it, and see how close can I get to the edge. Looks like that's about as far as I'm going to get. So in actuality, yeah, I mean, you're kind of fighting a losing battle in a way. If we look and see what other decorations we have, though, let's see, like here we're getting 8%, so there's no reason to get rid of that. We could look at the tree and see what the tree is offering. Well, that's 5, so that's obviously going to win. So then about the only other thing we have besides the panda at this point, as far as options are concerned, is the tub, which is 8%. So if you want my honest opinion, I think the easy solution is just take the panda out, and then you're getting 190%, assuming you've got all of the existing stuff up until this point. Now, on that note, the other thing that I thought I would discuss is the rabbits, as you can see, are now in the game. And of course, we got other world visitors, so you've got basically this candlestick of tasks you got to do every day. So like here, I got to go and complete arena. So we'll just go ahead and jump over into arena. And obviously, if you're wanting to save some money, make sure you check the description below, because you can save up to 15%. A little bit more sometimes, depending on the event. But like right now, you guaranteed are going to get 5% with the code down below. So make sure to check that out. But that said, yeah, even with this particular build that I've been running, it's not like crazy difficult to run this build. But if you're wondering, well, why are you using a Sacred Hunter versus, like, say, using a Plume Monarch? And there's not really a reason. I mean, part of the benefit of using Piercing Boneforge is the fact that you can stop regeneration on active skills. And then you've got, these little itty bitty micro bonuses that, while at first glance don't seem very important, if let's say I were to convert and switch from a sacred bow to archer and then go from that to a wind crossbow, okay, notice that you're getting a combo bonus, you're getting also combo damage, right? But then you tack this on, you're going to get additional 2 combo hits. Then you get this, you're going to fire 2 bullets during basic attacks. A little itty bitty differences there, but then here you get an additional 3 bullets on the combos, plus you get Sun Pursuit, which allows you to ignore enemy evasion and increase your combo damage resistance against your opponents, which obviously if you're trying to do damage, that's obviously a big perk of being able to go into this class. Now, having said that, okay, if I just go and jump into challenge and I just try to one-shot this thing, probably not going to succeed in that endeavor, but you never know. You might get lucky, but I'm leaning towards probably, yeah, okay, we got lucky. One of the things you can also do is you can also kick up Startup Battle, and the moment you kick that on, you're just going to make it shred through a lot faster, which is kind of convenient, but again, part of the problem is one part keeping yourself alive long enough for the next event to kick on, but also be able to get into the next round. The only way you can get any survivability here, though, is you really got to go and look at, like, like here you notice I'm running Gingerbread, but I'm also running Mona, and those are both going to give you some grief, if you're trying to get some survivability out of this. So in this particular instance, I'm going to have only a couple of ways I can tackle that. And usually it's going to be some combination of the tortoise, and then you're going to look for anything that'll reduce the amount of damage that you're taking or increasing the amount of damage you can inflict. So we'll play around with this and see if this would be enough. I don't know if it's going to be or not, but we can certainly give it a try and see if it'll be enough. As you can see, this is kind of how that works, and it's not by any means enough. I mean, if I really want to make any head or tails of this, what I can do is I could go dump a shit ton of crystals into souls, and we could try and rank in Soul Rush. Problem is in order to really advance into Soul Rush, you've got to either spend money or you've got to have a stupid amount of souls saved up for the event, of which I have neither. So what I've done instead is I've been saving up on relics, and that's about all you can really do, is just try to get the ball rolling, is to get some stuff saved. So if you want my 2 cents, just make sure to have a plan, and obviously make sure you're doing Cloud Ascension Trial. So as far as picking out a character here, so I pay attention to a couple of things, which is one, their HP, and then the other bit being their attack. So like this guy's got really low attack, really decent HP. This guy's got like a formidable attack speed and crit and combo. This guy's got a crazy high evasion and counter-strike and crit. So this guy's going to work a little better than some of the other players. Notice that, like here, this guy's crit and counter. This guy's crit and combo. Then they're also not running the same artifacts or skills. So that's another thing you also have to take into consideration, where this one will pop shields. This one's going to effectively do the same thing my skill does. And then this here is actually going to reduce counter damage of, so it's going to inflict more. Out of all of these, I'm going to say we choose this one. And I only say that because he's got Clone Strike in there. He's got really decent mounts and artifacts in there, and he's mid-powered. So he should be reasonable in this particular instance, I think, anyway. So we'll go ahead and we'll kick that guy out and see what what we get for a result. And again, there's nothing too terribly complicated about this process. I'm just picking it purely on the basis that, he's got both the ability to pop shields and also the ability to kill other shields, which is pretty handy because, yeah, not all too often do you find yourself having to deal with that in PvE, but in the grand scheme of things, you're going to want something that's going to inevitably scale up on damage on skill. And that's one of the advantages of this particular build that guy's got, the way that it's designed. Now, unfortunately, I did take a fairly massive hit there in HP, and I don't know if that's going to be enough to recover, but we'll keep pushing on and just kind of ignore it because I don't think it's going to be a problem. Which, as you could tell, it very easily did not cause me any trouble at all. But yeah, I mean, see, like that guy's build, the way it's set up, so he's got basically everything he can to reduce the amount of time that it takes for him to launch more skills, and then he's actually gaining more damage as a result, and he's got a lot of shields. So he's what I would typically call the mage blast build. Whereas the only problem with that build is you can see he's using Alien Dimension. That can be a little problematic because he gets weaker over time. He's not going to perform as well over time. It's like he's kind of a bursty type character, so his really only goal here is to do a stupid amount of damage and try to get it done as quick as possible. And that's fine, but that can also linger as a net negative for us. But as you can see, so far that is not the case. Like, we're flying through this without any trouble. Now, as far as the actual items of choice here, like what to get, that one's going to be kind of a toughie because I don't yet really have a clear idea of what I would want here yet. I'm kind of leaning in favor of like things that are going to be, like these two, for example. I'm always in dire need of those a lot more than I am like any other, because these just add to your core and you just might as well go ahead and get as many scrolls and hearts as you can because it just builds up from there. But, just like anything, it can be a little bit tricky to get to where I am. Now, I did have somebody ask me, like, how many days have you been playing this game? Like, it's been a while. It's certainly been some time since we've been playing Legend of Mushroom. I just know that the rabid rabbits have been, they've been unleashed. It's just another cool opportunity for Legend of Mushroom to kind of work with that particular team behind the rabid rabbits, which, to be honest with you, I'm kind of a fan of the rabbits. So it's kind of cool to see that kind of come together in the way that it has. It'll be interesting to see what kind of gear they have coming along down the corner too. And again, if you're interested in playing the game and you want to save some money, then you definitely want to make sure you check the description down below, because Aptoide is a really good way to save some money playing this game. That said, I could probably continuously go through Cloud Ascension, but I'm going to leave it off at that. And of course, like anything, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.